to the shit show.
Tom, yet another week where we couldn't quite keep our own schedule due to our own actions.
Aside from my own actions, what did I do to deserve this?
And
normally we like to do this on Thursday nights, but
yeah, but look, sometimes it's our fault. This week, in the reason why
sometimes
we're
it's
doing it on
your
Wednesday,
fault.
Well,
viewers,
that's
listeners,
what I was gonna say.
But this week it's our
I was gonna say, in this week's why are we doing it on a Wednesday night instead of Thursday? It's because I'm taking my parents to the Chiefs charity softball game, offense versus defense at the Legends Field in Kansas City, Kansas. They liked
That's right by my
event
house
last year. I know, and you're not going. Way to go.
Why not? Well, is there still tickets available?
Probably, yeah. I went to Tacos and Tequila this past weekend. Man, anyone 35 and older would love tacos and tequila. First off, great tacos. Second off, great tequila. Third, it's nostalgic acts so far from the early 2000s. This year's lineup was Murphy Lee. Do you remember Murphy Lee? He was Nelly's right-hand man.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was Murphy Lee, Bubba Sparks, David Banner, Ashanti, and then the headliner, T-Pain. And it all fucking ruled. And Tim, you know why it ruled even more? It was on time. All of it was on time. They said, this will be for this, this will be this, and then you're out at this. And we were. Fucking great. Love tacos and tequila.
I heard less than enthusiastic review from Carrington Harrison on the local sports radio about T-Pain's not playing the hits. Said he did a lot of covers.
Oh, he did a couple covers.
A bunch of nonsense.
But,
yeah.
Oh, sorry, Carrington. Was it because he didn't play the third track from 2011?
No, I think he was looking for "I'm in Love with a Stripper" and didn't get it. I think it's something like that. Yeah, he was going on a rant. I did not get to go this year. I went last year, and I agree with you. It's a fun event, and should have went this year. We almost went day of, but
it's funny that he would rant about that, because you know what my takeaway was, since you've asked, is Ashanti, 8 months pregnant, fucking performing her heart out. 8 months pregnant, and she's like, this is my last show before I give birth. And she's doing the dances. She's got two dancers with her. She's dropping it low and picking it up and singing her songs. Here was the thing. Here's actually my one criticism of tacos and tequila. And it's this. So, Tim, as you recall, when you went last year, Ja Rule was there, right? Ja Rule. Mm-hmm. Everyone remembers him. And he was playing songs that had the chorus. Well, he had the songs that was sang with the chorus from Ashanti. So he would just be quiet. And then Ashanti, right? The music would play Ashanti singing the chorus, right? So this year, Ashanti has the same fucking songs. And so she would let the music rap Ja Rule's part. And she would say, just fucking get them together.
They gave you the same act.
Yeah.
They pulled a WWE on you. They gave you the same match 2 times in a row here.
But like this, why don't you have them together? You obviously can book them. So I didn't understand why you couldn't just have them together. It was just, I don't know. I will say this. My heart got broke just a touch, and it was my own fault, right? Wild expectations that I set for myself. Shouldn't have done it. But I thought because Ashanti was pregnant, 8 months pregnant, that she might do a song or two. And then her husband, future baby daddy, Nelly, would then come out and be like, Monda, and do all the stuff, country grammar. But that didn't happen.
That's exactly. Right? Yeah. And then you'd be like, oh yeah.
Dude, I used to so Nelly was.
First of all, think about it, right? That song, like everybody was bopping that thing. Kids were singing along to that. And like, that's about a drive-by shooting.
Oh yeah. No. So I realized that right when I was a sophomore in high school, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And so what I used to do to make people really uncomfortable is because I went to a very mixed school. I think white people were the predominant, but it was like barely, like a 51% kind of thing, right? And then we had Samoans and African Americans and Asians and all continuing down the
Yeah.
line, right?
It's diverse.
Yes. And so we hung out with a lot of African Americans because of sports and interests like that and stuff. And so when that song would come on, like I'd go, mother andale, andale, uh-oh, what's going on? And they would hate it. And I was like, friends.
Yeah, I see
And
why
then
they would hate
stole my
it.
gimmick. Yeah, and then stole my gimmick. Chris Jericho tonight, AEW Dynamite. What
He
the
did steal
fuck
it.
was that?
Fuck your mama 2 times is in the chat. Tom says, "What's up, boys? Shocking episode. Best tag team in the business. Sounds like a badass concert in the early 2000s. Lol. I don't think Ja and Ashante are still cool," he says. And he says, "Country Grammar and EI are still my jams to this day. I want that car from the EI video with the Rams colors." Yeah, because the Rams, St. Louis lost 2 football teams.
Now, I will say this about Ja Rule. I don't think he's that cool. A lot of his hits were with Ashanti, which are not my flavor. However, New York, New York, the song with him, Jadakiss, and Fat Joe, that shit fucking pumps me up. Oh, the start of it, doom, doom, doom. I mean,
I think he was very much a product of, he had a great voice for the style and the time of the music he was making, right? But then I think the shtick wore off with Ja Rule. I think everybody was like, all right, guy, enough with you.
Well, the shtick wore off, and then 50 Cent ruined his career. You know what I mean?
Well,
so that was the other reason why. But
I think I think that was the final death blow, right? I think everybody like needed a good reason to be like, fuck this guy. And then 50 Cent was like, hey guys, fuck this guy. All right.
He tried to kill me, so fuck him. Hey,
fuck this guy.
It's a friendly rivalry,
Yeah.
Also, Tim, what I did this weekend, since you asked, thank you so much, is Friday night, I went to Big Slick softball game. For those who don't know what Big Slick is, it is a charity softball event, not from the Chiefs. This is from local celebrities who are very famous, such as Paul Rudd, Jason Sudeikis, Rob Riggle, Heidi Gardner from SNL. And then they bring their friends, right? Weird Al was there. Baron Corbin was there. And a host of other people. Yeah. And so I'm sitting there, right? So we saw the softball game. It was fun. Yay, great. Right. Although, side note, the dumbest thing that they did, Eric Hosmer, Mike Moustakas, Royals legends, 2015 World Series champions.
Bless those
Commentary. They didn't have them hitting. We'd rather see Weird Al fucking try it, or Sheryl Crow, not Eric Hosmer, who could fucking launch that softball into the moon. Anyhow, what I was going to say, though, is so we're sitting there after the softball game. I was like, oh, that's very nice, yeah. And then I look to my left, and here's Paul Rudd just talking to someone. I'm like, that's Paul Rudd. And then I see Jason Sudeikis, and I'm a Ted Lasso mark. I'll gladly say that every single time. And I was like, I think I'm going to get up and say something. And so I get up. I was like, hey, man, love Ted Lasso. He's like, thanks. And then they all start coming. Then, like, right behind him, Rob Riggle, Weird Al, Baron Corbin. And I was just like, and I just said, like this. I just kept my hand up.
Yeah. Like, back up here, all right? Sauce it. Let's go.
And everyone fucking gave me a high five.
Have a great show, guys. Love all of you. Eric Stone Street, another local.
Eric Stone
he's
Street,
Kansas,
Royals owner.
Side guy here. He's like my neighborhoods. Like, I think his parents still live up around here somewhere.
He's a co-owner.
The locals around here know him.
Yeah, he's a co-owner of the Royals and Chiefs, so that's how he makes his Modern Family money work for him. So that was my week. Tim, what did you do? Yeah.
I didn't buy into the Royals or Chiefs. I got, Tom, a lot done. Tom, you remember when you said if we had met now instead of back in the day, you may not give me the time of day to become a friend. The mower had been in the shop for 4 weeks, and you saw some of it out here. It gets pretty overgrown. And so got into a lot of that, got into burning a lot to do some weeding against the edge of the road, because, Tom, Roundup is bad for you and bad for the environment, right? So just took to torching it, using fire the old school way. Doing a bunch of that, so burning some fields. mowing a lot, getting the pool up and ready. Like just a lot of working stuff outside. Got a lot of sun, did some gardening stuff.
Ugh.
Yeah. Out there, yeah. On
Look.
the ATV, I had a water tank strapped to the back of the ATV, propane tank strapped to the front of it, torching some fields. You would have loved it, Tom. You come out next week and help.
Here's my hot take about gardens, because I've tried it now 4 or 5 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Not worth it. All the time and energy and the cutting and the stuff. Fuck that, man. I'll buy peppers for $2 at
I know. Yeah.
You know
no,
what I mean?
We were sitting on a bunch of land. We thought we might as well figure it out, right? Like, figure out how to try to grow
for
some
your
food.
land, for the listeners who are not aware, you've got land, right? I've got a backyard. Right. You've got land. Now, if you did real farming, now that's a different story, right? Like if you're
we got a garden, but we've got 10 beds and some 4 fruit trees and stuff. And
you get them 2 acres of fucking garden.
Yeah.
Okay, we're talking something different, but
right.
Hey, so that's the gardening portion of AW wrap up. Let's talk about tonight's AW Dynamite. We lost some viewers, so that's why I wanted to transition.
I'm sure we did. Once we started talking about propane tanks and ATVs and I remember at one point I was like, I didn't grow up this way. What? How did I end up here?
Yeah.
How did I end up here? Found a haying guy too. He stopped by the place because I need somebody to cut the hay down.
I thought you said hanging, like someone
haying,
kill you.
Haying, right?
Haying.
So saying all the good farmer stuff, all this stuff that
Mm-hmm. You did.
Yeah.
That's great. You know who's not a farmer? MJF. However, he enjoys grass, and he let us know because he kicked off the show and he put everyone on notice. Now, the first thing he said is, if you notice that my eyes are red, it's because we're in Colorado. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Hey, fucking cool. Do you also drink a beer? Oh, look, my addiction is my personality.
Can do that in Missouri.
Yeah. Well, but hey guys, my addiction is kind of like who I am. Guys, I gamble. I can tell you what a big slick actually is. It's King Ace. Ooh, fucking who cares, right? Grow up.
Yeah. It's a cheap pop, right? Got all the Coloradans.
I know. I'm just being a hater.
All the Coloradans went he said weed.
Yeah, weed. Oh, that's
weed.
Neat.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Weed. But
hot
I get
take
what
on
you're
that.
saying. It's like, all right.
Hot take on that.
All right, weed.
Hot take on that. Hot take on this. Fucking get it together, all you potheads. Because this is what I'm tired of. I don't like smoke. I don't like smoke of any kind. I don't like walking through.
It's in the air everywhere.
Pyro. Yeah. Fucking get a gummy like an adult. Fucking, I'm tired of this bullshit of all you fucking little assholes. Fuck that. I hate it. I don't want smoke in my face. I don't like smoke near me. I hate
gummy.
smoke.
They make some drinks now. You can get some lotions.
That's what I'm saying. If you offer me a gummy,
little pills.
If you offer me a gummy and I'm not having to drive, bloop, bloop, right? We did that at All Out in Chicago. Remember? Bloop, threw them in there. Fine. Yeah. But the
allegedly.
Cigarettes?
No, Chicago's fine. Chicago. Yeah, Chicago. Yeah. That's right. It was legal because we bought them there.
We didn't do it anywhere else. We did it in Chicago.
Definitely don't do it here in Kansas.
Yeah,
Never.
But gummies? Boom. I'll throw those things down as many times as you offered. I did. I said, boop, boop.
Fuck your mama. Cigarette 2 times says rolling up right now. Gummies are for kids.
Gummies are for adults. Yeah, I don't enjoy smoke. And this is why. Here's another tangent. Because my parents all smoked and they would just blow it around my face. And so I was just like, you know how like there's people who don't like water around their face because they, bathed wrong as a child. They just dumped it on their head, things like that. Same thing.
Yeah. I will say, since Missouri did make things legal, major events on either side of the state line, I've noticed, if you're not smoking, you kind of are. You know what I mean? You're going to be any Chiefs gathering, any, concert, any outdoor concert, especially.
Any Westport neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you can just walk right there. Though my whole neighborhood is kind of like a haze.
I haven't been to Power and Light since the legalization days, but I'm sure of it. I'm sure it's the same.
And again, the whole going back to MJF, it's like the guys, guess what I'm doing? Fucking
Yeah.
nerds.
Hey guys, look what
But
we're doing over here. It's like, I know, man, we're doing.
yeah, guys, yeah,
Anyway,
cool.
but what we are doing
Um,
is watching Dynamite, and it was awesome. And it's kicked off with MJF, as you said, and I think MJF is awesome. I'm glad he's back. We played some of the hits here with the MJF, right? But I think he set his mission here on what? I'm going after everybody, basically, right? I'm giving the clip notes here.
Yeah, and here's what I thought was interesting is babyface MJF, right? He comes out and he's like, "Hey," but he goes after your favorites, right? So he calls out Rainmaker, Okada, and he's a heel, so that makes sense. Okay, right. But then the second thing was Swerve Strickland, and he does the like thing, and then he does the jack off motion. Okay, well, that got you a little mixed reaction, but it made sense before he got hurt. They had that little backstage segment where they were face to face, and MJF was champ. And if he's the heavyweight champ, it makes sense that he would call out the heavyweight champ. But then, and he fought through this, then he calls out Will Ospreay. And the crowd starts to say, bruv, kind of over his promo. And he's like, yeah, it's a cool word. That is an experienced promo wrestler because some people will let that derail them and be like, oh, and then go off on tangents and not hit their marks, hit their beats, powered through it, got the crowd back with them, and then continued through. So I thought that was very impressive to do. But I will ask you this, the three wrestlers he called out, Ospreay, Swerve, Okada, what's your opinion on MJF calling those gentlemen out?
I mean, I think I like that, as you said, he's naming everybody's favorites here, right? Like the most over, we'll say 3 single guys if we're not counting Jay White, apparently. Everybody loves Jay White is the new name of this episode. Fine. I don't know that I want him in a program with any of these 3 guys immediately, though. So, I mean, yeah, but I think maybe we save those for later when we got to get to one of those guys, right? And we play in the vignette him saying, right, it's muffled and it's in black and white and right, and we throw it in there. I think, I don't know where we go with him right away. I think somebody fucks with him backstage maybe and gets in his way or something and we get a fight, but
well, it looks like we're starting off right from the jump with Roosh.
True,
so
right,
Roosh walks
right,
out,
with Roosh, right,
and he's like, hey, you returned, but so did I. Why am I not getting this segment? I want your spot, and guess what? I'm going to kick your ass. MJF then kind of does this racist thing with anyone who's not
it's kind of
American.
Racist. Yeah.
Where he's like, I didn't understand what you said. And then he's like, I'm fucking with you, right? But like he did that with oh goodness, who's Don Callis's stablemates? Not Powerhouse Hobbs, not Kyle Fletcher. Takeshita. He did that with Takeshita. He's like, oh, is it take a shitta? And then he's like, I don't know what you said. And it's like kind of flirting with something stupid there. But he got it back. Right. He's like a Nepo baby. And then he's like, but you're not, you sold out.
But he did go, like he threw in some racist voice there and ended it even on a trope. Yeah. It was a little, The
talking Spanish, I don't necessarily hate in this regard because Roosh is first language is Spanish.
Oh, of course.
If you were to do this to
speaking in Spanish was not the issue.
Yeah. But like, for example, if you were to do that to Sammy Guevara, it's like, okay, what are we doing? Like, obviously, Sammy, first language is English, and he's been in this country his entire life. So that's, but if, talking shit in that guy's language, I'm okay with for the most part, generally speaking.
Yeah, it was the over exaggeration, I think, of the accent, right? Where I was,
a little bit,
all right, a little bit.
But so here we go.
Spanish like a gringo says "fuck your mama" 2 times. I mean, that's true. You got to sell it. You got to go.
Yeah, you got to sell it. But then we get a pull apart, right? So Roosh gets in there. They start, how's your father? This is where your dad. Give you one of these. I'll give you one of those.
One of those. One of these.
And I choke him.
Choke him. I believe you. Yes. I also like, since we were speaking about Spanish, Roosh is getting better with the horns, right? He's nailing the horns down a little bit instead of the horns. But he would be good for, and then I'll give you one of these. That would be the best.
And then if you got Alex Hapernaris and he just says the same
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
thing, yeah, what he said is he'll give you. They should do that. God
That's
damn
so
it, they
good.
should do that.
That is good stuff.
It's the best. God, that always makes me laugh.
So yeah, MJF Roosh. I mean, but I don't think this one's long lived either, though, right? I mean, this one's going to be fast. I mean, like, is there a first major program for MJF?
Well, you know, I actually wouldn't hate it if it was Roosh, right? If we do something to the effect of they have a match, not to say it's a time limit draw, but let's just say things are not settled, right? It's a roll up victory with hand on the rope from MJF. Roosh is still pissed. We escalate it to a cage match. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't hate that because
Could do that.
here's the thing for Roosh. Roosh, as MJF said, in Mexico was selling out arenas, right? So he has some marketability to him. And obviously he's got some charisma because I kind of like him. And, you know, I'm a good
What
judge
could we do to make a get the horns match? What could be done that would be appear dangerous but not too crazy, right? You can't have a bunch of horns and impaling people, right? But what could we do?
Well, the spot I was thinking as you said that was, but MJF is the baby face, so it kind of wouldn't be a good payoff. But let's just say MJF is a true heel here. You could have Roosh with like those JBL horns, you know, those ones that flare out, and he could back MJF into a corner and then spike it into the ropes or into the turnbuckle, and that traps MJF like this, right? And then he can't get out because the horns trapped him. I was thinking something like that.
Fuck your mama 2 times in the chat says escalate it to a dog collar match because perro means dog, and that's what Roosh calls him. So you can go there.
I didn't know that that's what that word meant. I like that. Look at that. Yeah. Shooting star, the more you know. I took French in high school because hot chicks took French and I loved it. And another reason is you could pick your name before like whatever you selected, Spanish or French. And in the French column, the name was Bruno. And all I thought was Bruno San Martino. So I was like, French. Going French. Couldn't tell you anything about it. My wife got her degree in French. Look at that. Thumbs up to her.
My wife, when she was in, I think, middle school, was like, she went to nationals in French. And was French Canadian.
Hold on, though. Side quest. French Canadian. Don't say that to a true French speaker because they call that.
No, so they're they're blended. You know what I mean? They are some of their family's original French, and then some.
Oh, I know, but you know what I mean. Like when you tell French people I speak French. And
I know. I know. They're very distinct about it. No, I know. I know. Oh, I know it. Yeah, I know it.
Hey,
I've heard it.
So after the promo, after the pull apart, we get into some in-ring action, and the winner of this next match earns a shot at the international title next week. And in this match, we have Rey Fenix, Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Jay Lethal. Get a lot of fun, you know. I always like to call this, even though they've only been around for 5 years, a traditional AEW match, right? We get 2 guys in the ring and everyone else falls out, and then another 2 guys and those fall out, you know. But what did you think of the match?
Same thing. I thought, hey, this is good hype up, right? We're getting good action here. These are all characters I think people get behind, right? These are somebody's favorite guys, right? You know, all of these guys are somebody's favorite guy, right? If that makes sense. And it was fine. I don't know. Again, not a whole lot of build up here other than we're trying to get to a TNT title here, basically.
International championship match.
Sorry, so this is the international one, right?
Yeah, right, again, too many titles. But so Rey Fenix ends up winning the match. So next week we get all the flips you can handle with Will Ospreay versus Rey Fenix.
Yeah.
The fun part of this, though, was the post match. So Orange Cassidy gets in the ring. Don Callis and Trent walk up to the ring. Callis hands Trent a chair. Cassidy grabbed a chain, and they kind of have this stare down. And then Chris Statlander comes and stands in between them. And then hits old Orange Cassidy right in the kisser. And then Stokely Hathaway. And Stokely Hathaway was like, "You're a bitch," basically. I'm paraphrasing here. And then kind of, like as you said, Chris Statlander just wears out Orange Cassidy for a while until the return of Willow Nightingale. So
Willow.
good timing there. So we got
Mm-hmm.
Trent and Statlander, Willow, Orange Cassidy. How do you feel about that maybe intergender tag team match?
I think that'll be fine. I think two storylines that are naturally blended here. Especially as you mentioned, sometimes our pay-per-views might be venturing on or venturing into the long territory, if you will. So if we can squeeze two into a natural one match, then I think that'll work. I think it'll be fine. It is adding to the Statlander heel turn, and I like it.
Yeah, and what I like about it is it makes sense because sometimes with these intergender matches, it's like, well, I don't like that girl, and that girl's mean, so she just naturally likes the other bad guy. It's like, no,
Right.
this used to be Orange Cassidy, Trent, and Statlander all together. Statlander's best friend was then Willow, and so they're all connected through this breakup of the best friends universe, as you could call it, right? So I liked it. I think it's going to be fun. The thing I will say, we'll kind of jump ahead and then we'll go back. So then we get backstage and Renee Paquette is with Willow Nightingale. And Willow Nightingale cuts a hell of a promo here, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
She's like, Mercedes knows I beat her ass for an 8 count. I've never been betrayed by a best friend. I would have gave my life for Chris Statlander. She's the lowest. And then she's like, everyone says that I smile, and I always tell people to smile, but you don't know what the fuck I'm going to do now that I got stabbed in the back. And Tim, up until this point, I'm like, fuck yes, right? Wouldn't you agree? What did you think of that promo?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, it's the same thing. I like that Willow, it just feels real, right? Willow feels
authentic.
You know what I mean? You can just authentic, but you can also just relate to a lot of Willow, right? It's I don't know what it is there, right? But just there's this like human blend of just varied sort of approach and like thought process and stuff and who she is, right? There's not just I'm Willow, I'm this way, right? Like it's when Willow gets fucked over, Willow gets pissed, right? And I man, yes, I'm excited for this teaming up with OC in this match, but man, the GOAT of intergender tag teams for Willow is Nick motherfucking Gage.
Well, yes,
still holding out hope that this at least sets the stage for that down the road.
Yeah. The thing that I think took away from this just a little bit, and what I would have done if I would have known that this is how the segment we needed to get all these things in, is she cuts this promo and she's like, you don't know how dangerous I could be or something like that, right? And she gives us this like, I'm a fuck bitches up, right? And then Orange Cassidy comes and he does his thing, which again is fine, right? And I understand, but then Willow like breaks out of this like, I'm gonna beat your ass to like, oh, that's so fun. I did the thing with Orange.
Suddenly fangirling, yeah.
Well, I would have just, what I would have done, again, if I had the pencil, is I would have had Orange come out first in the promo, do the thing. She's laughing. Then we get to the serious, and it ends with, the bitch, So we still get
almost right before Renee starts talking, right?
Yeah,
she's about to start the interview. He comes, does the thing, and she's like, huh? And Renee's like, cool. And she's like, so anyway, back to this. And then Willow's like, oh yeah, that bitch is gonna die.
Yeah, because I felt like I was about to type on our Threads account. I was about to post, man, Willow has never looked more vicious. And then she's like giggling at the end. I'm like, oh. And again, she smiles, so it fits with the character. It's not a bad thing at all. It just a little bit off. But let's jump back a little bit and then we'll jump forward. Right after the post-match with Statlander, Willow, Orange, and Trent, we see Chris Jericho arrive to the building with Big Bill and Brian Keith. And Tim, you've got to give me some positivity out of this. What did you like? What anything?
Uh, so I know we're going, excuse me, chronologically, but they did this too many times.
Way
We've
too
hit the
many.
nail. We understand what the Jericho character is. We understand what he's doing. We don't need to keep hitting, you know what I mean? Keep hitting it, right? It is annoying enough. You know, the
Mm-hmm.
repetitiveness of it isn't what's making it annoying. So again, the speaking too loudly and proclaiming everything, fine, right? Good heel stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not being aware of how obnoxious and nobody really likes you, fine, great heel stuff. But we're doing this every third segment.
Yeah. And he even said this. He's like, I'm not gonna be Rampage commentator because I'm gonna have 6 segments, right? And here he does. But it also didn't all hit, right? So
Yeah,
the thing I will say about this is the aspect of all of these segments, and I don't want to go through each one, was Brian Keith. My
yeah,
favorite was when Jericho and the Learning Tree ran into uh 2.0. I don't know again what their
yeah.
name. Daddy
Matt Menard
Magic,
and
yeah, yeah, and Cool Hand
yep,
Ange, right?
yeah,
This was my favorite of all this segment, but then also they undercut it at the very end, and I'll tell you why. So my favorite aspect of was Brian Keith making sure everyone respects Chris Jericho,
yeah,
right? He does it to the cameraman at the start. He does it to someone else. But then he comes up to Cool Hand Ange and he's like, you better make sure that baby respects Chris Jericho.
yeah,
I like that, right?
yeah. Good stuff.
Here's
It's
here's
still
where they
weird that
undercut
he's
it.
a cowboy trailing with him, but you know, whatever.
Yeah. But here's
The
where
bad apple.
they undercut it. Yeah, that in the redwood or whatever. But here's where they undercut it. At the very end, I caught it, maybe no one else did. Um, at the very end, Brian Keith says, you better respect, or that baby better respect Chris Jericho. And I think Matt Menard says, he goes, or appreciate. Do we remember that? And it's like, because they were in the Jericho Appreciation Society, so I get
Yeah.
it. But like, you
You're like,
kind of saying what we're
you're
doing here.
kayfabe, pal. Yeah.
Well, like, yeah, we just kind of, and again, not ruined. I know we
Yeah.
all can see what's happening here, but that's not great.
Yeah.
Um,
Kayfabe guy.
yeah, just shut the
Yeah.
fuck
I do
up.
like that Taz at one point was like, why is he screaming? Like, why is he yelling at everybody? He was
Yeah.
like, why is he yelling at so much? So yes, again, parts of this, everything on paper, if I tell you what they're doing, you're like, this is great, this works. But I think we need to tone it back a little bit. Too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we talked about the circle of why won't he fuck off, but you don't need to manufacture that part.
Yeah, didn't like it. But what was interesting is after Renee Paquette, because then we'll jump back into chronological order, talks to Willow Nightingale, and Willow does the fist bump with Orange Cassidy. Christopher Daniels walks out and he announces on June 30th at Forbidden Door, they will crown a new TNT champion in a ladder match. And another qualifying match is happening right now.
Right
And
now.
it's Mark Briscoe versus Brian Cage. I like both of these guys for different reasons. I think both would have fit in a ladder match on AEW programming. Mark Briscoe gets the victory. What do you think about that?
Did they say how many people are going to be in this ladder match?
I think 1,100.
Probably at least 72.
I think what
yeah.
Christopher Daniels said is immediately after he made this announcement, but it was off mic, is he said anyone in the arena is available for this ladder match. So like if you're a fan, you could also climb the ladder, become the TNT champ.
Oh, I will.
How wild would that be? Side note, how wild would that be is if they said that and then like kayfabe obviously put a couple fans and like the fans fucking run up there and they're like, that would be kind of fun and wild, right? It gets a little crazy, but I like that idea.
Let me tell you about the sit in the chair match idea. All right. Cool ladder match. Again, I'm going to assume it's more than just like 2, right? It's not just one-on-one ladder match.
Oh yeah, I think it's 6 probably, something like that.
Yeah. Interesting that the ROH World Champion is being put on the same level of trying to chase
I don't like
the
that.
TNT title. I mean, now I get it. In all actuality, if we're looking at this from the outside world, that's somewhat realistic, right? Like, you're going to get more exposure on TNT than being the ROH World Champion right now. So, okay. So it's not terrible. And he's fun. Yeah, he's fun every time I see him.
Oh, he's the best. I love Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe is like the fun, competitive, redneck version. And not to say that Willow isn't competitive, but like he's the scrappy. That's a better term. He's like a more scrappy redneck version.
He's a more family-friendly Nick Gage.
Ooh, that is a great one.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah. He's kind of like a little more family-friendly Nick Gage. Uh-huh. Yeah.
That is, well, he's more redneck.
Not everybody for the family, but still more. Yeah, he's a little more redneck. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, but I mean, goddamn, that is almost spot on.
Yeah.
Wow. Great job, Tim. He is open Pandora's box there. But hey, after this, Jack Perry is backstage and he applauds Briscoe's victory.
Look at Mama 2 times says Mark Briscoe is when Tim is on the ATV burning the fields.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably did look like that out there. Yeah.
Maybe. All right, I'm going to get back to what I'm saying before you just cut me off because you're reading things here.
Yeah.
Jack Perry applauded Briscoe, but then says it doesn't matter because Jack Perry is destined to win the TNT title. No matter what Tony Khan thinks. Here's the question. Jack Perry. I know we don't know the rest of the competitors here. Jack Perry winning this title?
Yes. However, could he be in the match and somebody distracts him, screws him over, whatever, and is now on the Elite's bad side, and Jack Perry can go after that person, so maybe not, right? I think there's an out. You almost always have that out in pro wrestling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody comes in, and now, our mission is, we've got to settle the score, and this town's not big enough for the two of us. But, I can't think of somebody right now who Jack Perry's in a match with that we're going to be like, this person should go over instead of Jack Perry, especially for this title. So
yeah, I agree. Well, I mean, look, one quick idea that you could do right off the bat is, wrestler X, whoever that is, wins the TNT championship. Mark Briscoe cost Jack Perry the match from, him winning it himself. Jack Perry says, well, I'm going to take your title then. He's the ROH champion. You could have the Elite kind of go over to Ring of Honor for their pay-per-views to get some, buy rates there. Yeah, that's terrible. A good idea.
It was interesting, though, so we catch Jack Perry watching the match, and then we're just ready to go live, port his audio over to the big screen and have the winner of the match watch it on the live screen. Kind of like you said. We're showing Mark Briscoe watch the screen. I guess we think he's watching the screen instead of just standing there dumbfounded staring off. Yeah, it was a little odd. And then he's just like, Jack Perry's like, and then I'm going to be the TNT champion. And then Mark Briscoe's like, nope. Nope. Let me play air guitar now. That was a little off for me. I was like, I don't think we workshopped this scene out much here.
Yeah, I think the idea that you could hopefully maybe excuse it away with is that the Young Bucks, the EVPs, are running the show, so they're going to make sure that you hear from Jack Perry. You know what I mean? But that could be stretching it there. But all right, what are we going to do from here? We're going to talk to Hook and Samoa Joe, Renee Paquette backstage. And what do we got here? He says Joe's going to mentor Hook, right?
Yeah.
And then Mr. Abs comes up, Tony Nese, and he's like, hey, I got abs. You're fucking suck. Your dad's a bitch. And I guess now this guy's your bitch now too, or you're his bitch, whatever it is. And then Hook does this, I'm going to get you, boy. I'm going to. And Joe's like, not on their time. Not on their time.
So I like two things out of this two lines was, he was like, still eating those, I see, or whatever, and he was like, still losing matches. That's where we can keep Hook's words, right? Little one-liners back real fast that people would work wonders, right? Where he's still fucking rip your nuts off, feed him anyway. And then Samoa Joe being like, he was like, The only reason people would step to killers like that is when they know they can get away with it. And he's like, and judging by how much security is around here, right? Like, and like, kind of like fucking hell. And he's like, now I see why, right? And I'm like, all right, so that made sense as to why Samoa Joe didn't just fuck these guys up.
Yeah, and I maybe am shitting on it a little bit too much because their charisma, Joe and Hook's charisma together, fucking perfect.
Better
right?
than
Match
I would have
made in
thought.
heaven. Yeah,
Really. If you told it to me, I would have been like, meh. But I see it now. Yeah.
Love it. It's
Hook
just
can be a lot more cool now. He can
mhm.
just be relaxed, cool.
It's just, I don't know. Did we need this here? We could have done this on Rampage or Collision. You know what I mean?
And these two guys, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it would have been more impactful guys that ran up on him, like, I forgot Tony Nese was there. And who's the other guy? I don't.
Ari Davari. Remember he was in
Is that
WWE?
who it was? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I know he isn't. I just couldn't tell who it was at the moment. Like when I was looking in the back. But I want to really get behind Hook, but I just don't think it's there yet. Right? We've got some more seasoning to get done, and this will help, I think. But
yes,
I mean,
this will
particular
help.
few may less, but the thing with
This
Samoa
could
Joe,
just be a match. I bet you it's just a match. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing with Samoa Joe, but here is where I guess my bigger point, and kind of what I was trying to say poorly, is how I said it.
You were trying to say it poorly.
I was trying to say it, but I said it poorly. Yeah. Is, we don't watch Rampage. Let's just be honest. Look at the ratings, and I hate to do it, but like, we're not watching Rampage. Let's put air quotes around it. We're not watching Rampage, and Saturday nights are hard, so we're not 100% always watching live Collision, right? This Samoa Joe forms Hook in his own image kind of thing can develop on those shows, right? Like, then I'll say, oh, what is Joe and Hook doing? Instead of fitting 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bucket here, and we're putting this segment kind of smashed in there with all the other things, and it gets lost. Like,
a lot of shit in a bucket.
Well, that's why you don't do it. But apparently this is what Tony Khan's doing, trying to put it all in. And then on Rampage, we're going to get, Penta beats up Colorado Joe or whoever the fuck it is. And what was that for? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Local talent Lenny.
Yeah.
We're like, great.
Yeah. All right. Fucking neat. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just, this was forgotten about because there's so many other things that happen on this show. So that's my point. But then nothing happens on Rampage. All right, let's get back on track. The Acclaimed walk out and they're ready to make their entrance. And Max Caster's like, oh, by the way, this is for the EVPs, extremely vague perverts. A little reach, but they get cut off. And Matthew and Nicholas go, hey, one of the things in the handbook that you signed, you can't talk shit on us. Also, man, we're running short on time. You're cut. Cut the segment. Yeah. What do you think about this here? Cutting segments now. The EVP.
I could tell something was up. I forgot when the Acclaimed music hit that, oh yeah, last week they were the ones that stood up to the EVPs for some reason, and we don't really know why. So right when they came out, though, I could tell something was up. He was rushing the rap. It wasn't quite really. I was like, this doesn't feel right. And then it gets cut off, and I'm like, oh, yeah. Everything falls back into place. So, cool. I like this. I like that we didn't overplay this one too much. We didn't get a whole then diatribe from the Acclaimed, and like, we let it marinate a little bit, right? Let's get their response next week, right? Now, we don't got to hear it from, kind of like you said, we don't got to shove the 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bucket. Like, this was cool. It's like, you bitches, right? Like, now your week is ruined. Now you should be embarrassed, live in that embarrassment, and come back next week.
Yeah, this is obviously setting up for something next week, or maybe at a pay-per-view, which I'll tell you about because it all made sense once you saw all the segments, but we'll put a pin in it and we'll keep going.
Yep.
Don't want to go too far into this because obviously we see him in the main event, but Swerve Strickland cuts a promo with Renee Paquette backstage, and he's like, welcome back, you little bitch, MJF. I think that's what he actually said. And then he's like, hey, here's the contract, Prince Nana, go get Ospreay to sign it, which is cool, right? You like, make these people do my work, but shouldn't Tony Khan do that? That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Why would you have to do that?
You don't. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's not how it works.
I don't.
Lawyers both, yeah, they're
Yeah,
two individual
so-
contracts. Even like you know, what I mean, like it's
Yeah.
usually how it really works. Like this idea of like
But-
we're both signing the same contract. It's like they're different contracts. But
That's
all
not
right,
a thing. Yeah. Anyhow, yeah. But it was good that he addressed MJF and that he's talking up Will Ospreay, and obviously he says in the main event he's gonna beat up old Roderick Strong, right? One other thing though that I will say from this is he says, hey, if Team AEW is needed again, you remember you get the champ to represent this company. But that was good.
I like that. I don't know if he was wearing them here, but we did see him later. But the grills, you know,
It's the AEW championship.
Yeah, what do you think? Yeah,
Sure.
never was a grill guy, I guess.
Never was a grill guy.
Certainly
Paul
Paul
loves him.
Wall running around out here.
Yeah. Mike Jones, you know. I'm just not a grill. It's
Unique
fine.
though. I would have never thought of doing that. Right, getting the title.
Well, that's why he's the coolest guy in
Grill.
pro wrestling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not my thing, but I know that people will love that thing. So yeah, he's cool. Cool as shit.
See you grill. Fuck you, mama.
I love this one. Yeah.
Speaking of 2000s rap.
Love that shit.
What?
Then we get a little bit of inner promotional battle. We get the BCC representing AEW taking
The
on
full BCC.
Yeah, because Yuta's back and they take on Magnus, Valaro,
Nailed it.
Rugio,
Nailed it.
and old Eddie Five Fingers.
Nailed it. Yeah. Eddie Five Fingers.
Oh, Eddie Five Fingers, you
man.
know. Yeah. Put 5 across your lip. Speaking of early 2000s, Dave Chappelle.
85.
And so
man.
Yuta is in this match and he gets the victory, right? We get our fun stuff.
Tom. I'm sorry. I was reminded. Did I tell you that when I was in training for the Air Force and it was in a dorm, right? Had to share with a guy I never met before in my life from Atlanta. So he's also a rapper. His name, Five Fingers. Five Fingers. And so now I'm wondering if Eddie is related to Five Fingers.
Maybe.
Have you heard of Five Fingers?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Who hasn't?
Oh, you have.
Dude,
oh,
I battled him. I battled him 6 times.
First of all, awesome dude. I mean, really cool guy. I don't want to like shit on the guy. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Look, he put up a hell of a battle, but I beat him 6 times because 5 ain't enough. Gotta do it 6 times. I lived with a rapper in Atlanta.
No, man, this guy can't be serious. Anyway, sorry.
What?
Fuck you, you know Five Fingers?
Eddie Five? Who doesn't know Eddie Five Fingers?
No,
come on.
Anyway,
guys, come on.
All right, yeah, everybody knows Five Fingers. All right.
Yeah, but I lived with a rapper in Atlanta. His name was Angel, and he was a pimp. I told you about this, right? That I lived with a pimp in Atlanta.
You did tell me this, yeah.
Oh,
I had a pimp stop me in Atlanta, tried to tell me where all the best strip clubs were in Atlanta. And I was like, thanks, guy. I'm literally
Magic
just
City.
trying to get to the hotel across the street.
Magic City was where everyone went. That was like somebody.
Guy's suit was nice. I'm going to tell you, though.
Yeah.
The suit was nice.
In 05, this is how long ago it was. In 05, that's where Jermaine Dupri and Lil Wayne and Juvenile, all those motherfuckers went. But if you wanted that fun, real shit, you went to Babylon. Babylon will fucking change your world. You'll start to think about, you might change political parties after leaving Babylon. Like that shit is real. Like it is life altering.
Can't go to that side. All right.
Yeah. Oh man, like once a week at like 1:30 in the morning, we'd get a knock on the door and it'd be some woman I've never seen before wearing next to nothing, handing me like $1,200 in cash and just goes, "This is his cut," and then just walk away. And I was like, and then we would go to fucking Emerald Lagasse's restaurant off of this money. Dude, I ate so good. It was so amazing. Although one time at a mall, he caught one of his girls who wasn't paying him. I had to stop him there because I thought he was going to kill her. because we were up on the top level of the mall and she was at the bottom. This is at Phipps Plaza. This is all real. And he's walking and we're just talking some bullshit, and he stops, and he wasn't a fast walker, but he stopped. Woo! I was like, "What's up?" And he goes, "Wait." I said, "Okay." And I got nervous because he was like, got real, because he was always like a fun loving guy, right? Like he wasn't like I'm gonna fuck you up. It was always like, hey, and then he's like, "Hold on, what?" And he goes, I forget the girl's name. I don't want to make it up, but like, let's just say let's just say it was Jessica, right? And he's like, "Jessica." And she looked and just starts sprinting. And he just fucking ran down the escalator. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but she shouldn't be running like that. And so I run with him. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, shut the fuck up. And we're going. And I like get down the escalator faster than him. And I like stop him. He's like, give me the. I was like, man, we do not need to be making these decisions. 15 minutes later, we're both in handcuffs, getting fucking walked out of the mall. We're getting set down. And then Angel goes, talk to the white kid. He'll know what to say. God damn it.
Look, I mean, I do know what to say.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. Oh, my God. I used to say, yeah, who cares? Let's have fun. Let's go back to Spanish Announce Table days. I used to say at clubs, because I was usually the only white guy there, I was like, yeah, all these guys are better looking, but I got good credit. And they fucking would laugh so hard.
I remember one time a guy, he was like, you gotta go dance with that Spanish chick. They like white guys. And I was like, nobody likes white guys. And he was like, no, they like white guys. And I was like, why? And he was like, they think you got money. What do you mean, why? I was just like, oh yeah, okay, well, let me
straighten up. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. All right, that was a quick side quest. Let's get back on track. BCC1, Yuta's in there. Awesome. Here you go. Let's get back on track, because then we go backstage and the Bucks are talking to the patriarchy, Christian Cage and family.
Yeah.
And Christian's like, you obviously know that I got screwed here, so I want a championship. I deserve gold. Yeah.
Demands it.
And the EVPs are like, yeah, what I think is like, you deserve a title and you deserve a title and you deserve.
We would have just gave it to you.
We're like, we'll think of something, okay? And he's like, won't you scratch my back? I'll scratch your back. And then they do a handshake. So obviously, Tim, it's going to be the patriarchy versus the Acclaimed, and that's going to be for the Trios Championship. And I think Jericho and the patriarchy as your Trios champ makes fucking great sense. Don't you?
Christian Cage, right?
What did I say?
I think you said Jericho.
Oh, sorry. The patriarchy, Christian Cage.
Yeah.
Nick Wayne.
Maybe I misheard you, and maybe I was.
Anyhow, but Dave, wouldn't you think that they would make a good Trios champ?
I do. And yeah, I think that does do something with him post world title shot, right? That would be meaningful. I do like it. I like that he comes in and demands it, right? He's like, give it to me. And they're kind of uncomfortable, and they're like, I mean, look, we don't have that power anymore. Suddenly we're not all powerful, right? Like, oh gosh, we could do something. Yeah, it was great. I loved it. Yeah. I'm down.
And I think it would be a cool dynamic because Christian works obviously best with the championship, right? Obviously, respect me because I have this, And with the trios match, he never has to wrestle, but he could always walk in and get the pin. You know what I mean? Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus would be doing all the shit. Then he tags himself in, pins Max Caster, and then that's your match. I mean, you could do that formula for a long time. You know what I mean? I think that would be a cool 100%. Aspect to those titles. That's what I'm getting at. Okay. So then after that, we get a women's match. It is Saraya. Remember her? She's taking on Mariah May. And obviously, Tim, we got to go back to it. Got to play the hits here right before the main event. So you know what time it is.
Yeah.
It's time
for the women.
Look at this. Like I can actually do that.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, there you go. I like it. See, if you're listening back on the podcast, you're missing all the fun stuff that Tom's got going on his screen. You really should check us out live, typically Thursday nights, sometimes Wednesday nights. If you want to know is it going to be Wednesday night, is it going to be Thursday night, you can go to alleelitewrapup.com and subscribe for free there, and you'll get a weekly email telling you, hey, we're going live tonight. It's easy, it's quick, and then you got all this other content on the page there that you can have. All the links will take you to our social medias and all that kind of stuff. But most importantly, the YouTube, because then you could watch us live when we do the show.
And when you don't watch us live,
fuck your mama 2 times, and Justin
and
4.
And when you don't talk to us live, it makes us sad.
Sad. Mm-hmm.
See, and that's what you're not getting by watching the YouTube.
And then we think,
aside from my own actions, what did I do to deserve this?
And we don't know what to tell you. What would we tell them in that situation?
Yeah. And Justin Flores says, damn it, Willow.
So here's a peek behind the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
I legitimately hate that fucking sound. Like, I hate Jeff Hardy. I hate that fucking sound. It really gets under my skin. Oh, every time I get so mad thinking about how dumb that is. He really thought. Okay. So in this match, I just hope anyone who made this decision gets athlete's foot in their asshole. Except me.
Yeah, that was
I forgot I said that. You guys should be punched in your dicks or vaginas. I'm so dumb. I'm so stupid.
Good times.
Oh, that is a great time. You don't get that on fucking Dave Meltzer, huh? Fuck
Justin Flores said, I had one of your shows playing on YouTube in the middle of the night, and that damn Willow soundbite scared the shit out of me.
That's great. Well, thanks for listening to us in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
it's the best time.
Yeah, the best time.
You got to be one of us to ride with us. So whenever you do it, it's on you, man.
Yep.
2, 3, 4 in the morning, whatever it is.
I don't care. As long as it counts. You know what I mean? But Saraya here defeats Mariah May via submission. So what do you think about Saraya getting a victory over Mariah May before we get into the post-match shenanigans?
I'm surprised Saraya's still wrestling, to be honest with you. But fine. I mean, look, certainly doesn't hurt Mariah May to lose to Saraya. Wouldn't hurt anybody to lose to Saraya. So worked out.
I think it's interesting. So if you were to rank the all-time women in AEW, Saraya is going to be up there because obviously Paige in WWE had great credibility. One of those early change what we're doing with women in WWE types of people, right? So her winning is good for her in AEW because then it gets her back into a credible situation of I'm beating everyone around this bitch, right? Where I think it's interesting though, and maybe we're not doing this, but this is what my thought was, is Mariah May is going to be the one to finally beat Timeless Toni Storm. But we've seen Mariah May lose to Serena Deeb. Remember, Toni Storm threw in the towel because she was just ramming Mariah May's leg into the ground. And here she is getting tapped out by Saraya. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but is that how you're feeling with Mariah May with Toni Storm here? Is that the ultimate end goal, you think?
I think we could still do that. I don't know if we have to. And I think you could just get Mariah May finally winning a few, right? And then Toni Storm's like, what? Right? And then maybe she prevents her from one. And then Mariah May's like, wait a minute, right? Why would you do that? And then the other girl there, the name is escaping me for a second.
Mina?
Yeah, Mina. And then, that love triangle can kind of start to implode there in some of that. But yeah, I think that might still be where we're going. I don't know.
Yeah, so...
Because I don't know where we would go with Toni Storm, as much as we love it, right? But I don't want to run the risk, like we said with the Acclaimed. You can't go too far too long with this. And so if she fucks over Mariah May and is still a champ, I don't know. She's run through almost everybody at this point, right? I don't know who to
Yeah, I would. Again, this is just me theorizing. I would have Mariah May beat Timeless Tony Storm, but what I would do there, because I do think she is this creative, kind of like a Jericho in this sense, I think Tony Storm could be like, I've gone crazy again, and now I'm a 1920s flapper. Or I'm a 1980s Cyndi Lauper, right? Because she keeps on calling out Wendy Richter, do a 1980s fucking gimmick, right? Then kind of like a Bray Wyatt Firefly Funhouse when he was like doing the curls with John Cena behind the steel cage, like a that homage to 80s wrestling. And then we get a new iteration of her. Because
That could
here's
be
the thing
great.
with because here's the thing with Tony Storm
Tony
that I don't
Storm
think.
through time.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yeah,
Back in time.
and she's
Right.
timeless,
She's
right?
timeless. So she could always be timeless Tony Storm. Yeah.
She can go wherever you want. She can go to early 2000s wearing like the Missy Elliott big fucking black trash bag that she wore in that music video. You know what I mean? I
Yeah, she
can't
could do an
stand
Old
the
West
rain.
gimmick. She could do it.
Oh, yeah. Having the little pistols coming out. And Luther could do it
50s,
with her.
right? Like you could do
Luther's got to be the butler in whatever era, too, right?
everything. Yeah. Or he's just got to be something, some sort of servant, something, somehow, some
Yeah.
way.
Yes. Love that idea. But that's what I was thinking we were doing.
So Wendy Richter shows up and costs her the title, as fucking mama says, and that sends her into the 80s version because she goes nuts.
Do we know if Wendy's still alive?
I
We
know.
don't
We
fact
ask
check.
this every time. Is she alive?
I don't know if she's alive.
Stunt
I hope
double?
she is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wendy's daughter cost her the title. Yeah. So
Mindy Richter costs her
so we get back into this match, and post-match, Mariah May is tending to the submission that she just suffered, and so she's beat up. Tony Storm runs into the ring and it was like, well, is my child okay? But here comes then Saraya and Harley beating up on Tony Storm. So who then saves the day for them? Mina Shirakawa. And she runs down and Mina clears the ring. And then she instantly goes to comfort Mariah May. And you see Tony Storm seeing this happen. And she just
jealous.
she gets like right in front of her. And Mariah May, where again, Tony Storm said, AEW, where the breast wrestle, takes both women and puts them in her boobs, in their bosoms, and is like, everything is fine. And Tim, it worked. They kind of both
It worked. The weirdest dynamic in this love triangle? I don't know what to call this, right?
I think, you know what I think it is? I think it's the female version with more fun. Let's just say that on the front end. I think it's the female version of Chris Jericho and Bryan Danielson fighting for Daniel Garcia. It's the same type of, I could mentor this person better. Well, I could mentor this person better. And then Garcia, now, obviously, Mariah May has more history, right? Because she was in Stardom with Mina.
Yeah.
She's been with Tony Storm, but it's a little different, but I think it's the same kind of thing.
Except they weren't making out and putting their faces on each other's ball sacks. You know what I mean? Like to try to comfort
that
each
we
other.
know
So
of.
there's a
We don't know
weird
that
dynamic here.
Camera wasn't.
Yeah, they didn't
all
show
time.
that part on TV at least.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
I didn't catch Rampage every week, so I don't know.
That's how I view this. Is I don't view it necessarily as a love quarrel. I view it as I could take this child to new heights. And then Mina saying, "Well, bitch, no, she's been best with me." You know, something to that effect. And Mina could even say, "Hey, she wasn't losing matches when I was her mentor. She's losing to Saraya and Serena Deeb."
I kind of think they wind up looking like the Google Drive logo at some point, but whatever.
You think it's a thruple? Pushing the real limits?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. They're already pushing limits. They already do.
Yeah. Speaking of pushing limits, another side quest here. I told you about this earlier today, but thruple made me think about it because it's kind of happening a lot in this series. I finished X-Men 97.
Okay.
Dude, there is a lot of this like Are they platonic? Are they not? She's
Mm-hmm.
kissing him. She's kissing him. He's kissing her. He's maybe kissing him. There's a little of that. There's a fucking great show.
A lot
God
of kissing.
dang. Lot of, dude, X-Men 97, super horny. Like they are so horny.
Hey, look,
All of these
I
fucking
remember
characters.
being horny in '97.
Yeah, with my
Very
superpowers,
horny.
fucking always. But like
Yeah.
this series, they call it X-Men semicolon horn dog. Like it was just horny the entire time. It was
Triple X-Men '97.
yeah, triple X-Men 97. Fucking rules though. I will say that.
There's going to be a porno of that if it's not already on
yeah.
somewhere, right? There's got to be a
Yeah.
parody of that, right? Triple
You haven't
X-Men
seen it?
97.
But like, you know, yeah.
No, I mean, so I've heard.
Oh.
The friend told me.
Well, yeah, my friend told me.
Yeah, you're my only friend, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you told me.
You told me.
All right. So then before we get to the main event, we cut a great promo here from Bryan Danielson. And he talks about how okay, let's get to what he said, and then I got a question for you. So Bryan Danielson puts over that Yuta won the match, and he's so happy that Yuta's back. And he says how this is his last full year of wrestling, and he's almost coming up at the end. And he mentions how he's lost every big match. He just lost Anarchy in the Arena. Before that, he lost to Okada, you know, all the things, right? But he says, hey, this winner of the Owen Hart tournament gets a title shot. And I got one more in me. So I'm going to basically put my name in the hat. I'm going to win this fucking tournament. And then I'm going to beat the champion. I'm going to go out on top. Pretty great, right?
I mean, I thought the promo was good. I do like this realization that he had of like, this is my last year and I'm fucking sucking. Like, I'm ready to, you know?
Yes, I love that. Here's what I think details matter, Tim. I think details matter. He isn't saying he's retired. So you could always challenge for the belt whenever you want. It doesn't mean that you can't be champion. It just means you're not showing up week to week.
You just said last full year of wrestling, right? You didn't say retired.
You didn't say you're done. So
And
I don't
also
understand this, like, gotta get it in before I'm done kind of thing.
I know Bryan Danielson does have a family and a wife and kids that he values very much, and if they want him home, he will be home. But I don't get the vibe that Bryan Danielson can quit wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I don't get that vibe.
Oh, I think, look, and this is me, you know, being a psychiatrist from afar. But the way I've seen it, just as an observer, is he kind of did the retirement thing and he fucking didn't like it. That's why he fought so hard to get back, you know? And, yeah, with wrestling, unlike, you know, real athletics, you could always do one more in you, brother, right? You could put one more match out there with whoever it is.
Still trying to do that.
Yeah, he's still trying to fucking fight Roman Reigns or whoever it is.
It would sell out a fucking
yeah,
it would
sell do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, the details I think matter here because I think it is cool that he says, I'm going to win the Owen Hart Championship and then I'm going to win the title. But then he says he's going out on top. You don't have to. You're not Sting. Sting was saying that. Sting was saying, this is my last match. I'm fucking done. Right? Like, and we haven't seen him since. He won, hugged his sons, and got out of there. Bryan Danielson could come back at every All In. He could have the Undertaker schedule and just do the one match at Wembley. You know what I mean?
Fuck your mama 2 times has just dropped a sad prediction on us. He said Bryan is leaving, and we're getting the Bellas.
No, we're not. No. Well, first off, I don't think we're getting the Bellas. We might get one. But I think
they're not the Bellas now. They're the Garcias, right?
Yeah, and we already got a Daniel
that,
Garcia, so you better change your fucking name again. Daniel Garcia already's got the ownership.
And y'all can't do
hell yeah.
Dance.
And you know they can't dance, so
yeah, we know that.
I don't think the John Cena Bella twin. What was her name?
Nikki.
Ooh.
That's one who I
Nikki.
would
I
think we
don't.
would get, I guess.
No, I think after she had that kid, she's like, I'm fucking done. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just
Just
now.
Justin Flores says he would stop watching AEW if they sign with them. I mean, ugh.
I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate you doing
But
that
that, I mean, that
because
makes sense if, like, okay, Bryan Danielson's going to go home now and Bree's going to hit the road.
yeah.
Nah.
Now, here's the thing. Oh, hold on. Let me clarify my statement. I don't think we are getting the Garcias, the Bellas as full-time wrestlers. Sure. I could easily see Bryan Danielson maybe getting smacked in the face backstage by Mercedes Moné, and guess who steps up to Mercedes Moné? It's Brie mode, and we do a Brie Bella versus Mercedes Moné match. That I do not think is far-fetched. But
that's what I mean. We get like a 1 month, 2 month program.
Yeah,
and
right. She wrestles.
Then Nikki
Britt
makes an
Baker.
appearance.
Yes, there you go. And then they're gone. But going back to Bryan Danielson, again, he could always, and yeah, like you said, and we kind of observed, he can't quit this. He can't.
Dude, he's going to be Terry Funk. He's going to be.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Terry Funk's the greatest of all time. Be Terry Funk.
Yeah.
That's our tagline for this episode.
Be Terry Funk.
Be Terry Funk. If any chance you got to be like or is Terry Funk, be Terry Funk.
We should make some What Would Terry Funk Do merch. WWTFD.
Hell yeah.
Start living your life and think, what would Terry Funk do right now? And man, you will succeed to the highest of heights. You will have stable relationships. You will have great employment history. You will have no rap sheet to speak of, I'm sure.
You will have all of your dreams come true, and then you're going to probably ride a horse. Now we get to the main event. Swerve Strickland.
The white horse.
The white horse. Swerve Strickland beats Roderick Strong. Here's my question about that. Roderick Strong came out with the Kingdom. You know who wasn't with him? Adam Cole.
Baby. Or Wardlow.
And in the promo package, Wardlow was there. This match, it was just the tag team going out there. So is Roderick Strong just now the de facto leader of this fucking thing?
I would listen. Honestly, I think that would be better. Adam Cole is good, of course, right? Adam Cole is what Adam Cole is. But Roderick Strong's coming into his own lately, man. And I think highlighting him would help. And him having just these two guys as his little lackeys, I think works. And I think Adam Cole could be just as over as Adam Cole is without any of it.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
And in fact, now he can come back and be like, bro, you Triple H'd my group, right? Like, what did you do here? And then they fuck you, right?
Easy. And they were already hanging out before this, right? Even before we found out who the devil was, it was the tag team and Roderick Strong.
Yeah, it was
so it's
them
not like
recruiting Adam Cole away from MJF, quote unquote, until we found out Adam Cole was, behind it all anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I do know that Swerve Strickland wins here, and it's great to always feature your AEW champion. In my opinion, I would have done this first. I wouldn't have had this as the main event because it didn't do anything, at least in my eyes.
Right.
Like we knew it
was
going to happen.
Like really storyline progressions here. There was none of that. Yeah. I agree.
Let me see.
Fell flat.
Yeah. I mean, it basically just confirms that Strickland versus Ospreay. I'm just reading from this little thing that I found here. Okay. The show ends. And doing the signature dance with the little old lady in the front, which was a pretty great visual.
The granny in the front was fun.
And that's what I'm saying. It was like if you are just watching this for the first time, you do leave, at least in my opinion, thinking like Swerve Strickland's the fucking man. That MJF guy, he's pretty fired up, but like Swerve's the man. You know what I mean? I would have had, and again, I don't know if we wanted to jumpstart it right now. But maybe I would have had MJF just walk out, right? Just a, what's up, Swerve? And then you end there and you're like, what the fuck's going to happen there? And then MJF could just go right off with Roosh, Swerve with Osprey, but there we just had that little moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
End
just
it on
him
that.
walking out, kind of surveying what's going on here, right? Just kind of
Yep. And then just leaving.
cheesy grin.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I
like
mean, the old lady
again,
is pretty great too.
Yeah, that was fun. I thought it was a good episode overall. I do think, again, we are storyline focused more heavily than we had been, a few months back. So I like where we're heading on things. MJF being back can only be good things, but it does inject a big name suddenly that we've got to figure out what to do with. And so that'll be interesting, right? Now, obviously, we're doing this thing with Roosh, but yeah, I mean, it's another big name that's got a feed here, right? But I remember some of the best AEWs, is, as he said, were when MJF was featured very heavily. So I'm looking forward to how that goes. And just there's a lot of excitement still building for me right now.
And so look, I'll say this about AEW's 5 years in existence. In my opinion, there's been two main characters. There's been Hangman Adam Page from inception to title reign. Mm-hmm. And then there's been MJF from there to now. The other person that I just mentioned, Hangman Adam Page, he ain't on TV right now. And when he comes back, and this is again where we need to utilize Rampage and Collision more. This is where you bump the Samoa Joe thing to a Rampage so that, and I'm just theorizing here, a Hangman can get that time. This is when you bump a Swerve Strickland versus Roderick Strong to Collision so MJF can get that time. Like, this is where you can't be, the days of AEW Dark need to fucking go away. We can't be doing this. Hey, Satnam Singh choke slam,
or just bring Dark back
person.
And do that if that's where you want to do this. But like, yeah, use Rampage and Collision as television shows. It's the days of DVR. I don't have to watch it Friday night.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I'll watch it if it's good stuff that's storyline driven that makes me care. Like, guys, if I'm wanting to just watch a wrestling match, I can get that on YouTube very quickly, easily. Like, I don't have to pull up Collision and Rampage. I can just, you know what I mean? Find whomever I want to watch. And so, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it was Collision. That they did a Satnam Singh choke slammed a little person. Who the fuck cares? If you want Satnam Singh to impress the crowd, have him be the very first thing they see before TV goes live and have him throw that motherfucker through the ring. And then we get Dynamite to start. And wow, did you remember that fucking 7'5" guy that can't make a 3-pointer? Side note, he can't make threes. I watched him. He tried 12 threes, missed them all really bad. Played in the NBA. So there you go. That was AEW. I'm excited.
Yeah, I am excited. Then I guess we will just remind everyone to hit the website, do all that stuff there, right? Send us an email, aewrapup@gmail.com. Find us on the threads, and then we'll just come back next week. We'll probably be doing it Thursday. Maybe it's Wednesday, but sign up at allelitewrapup.com to find out more, and then we'll be back for another episode of the All Elite Wrap-Up.